There we go. Hello, YouTube. I'm going to steal a line from Umfidis Tebo and say, welcome from my stoop. In my stoop, I like that. It's very, very comforting, very cozy term for the idea that he's trying to convey. Just welcome to my area, welcome to my hearth. I'm going to smoke a pipe and talk to you. I like that. Well, this is technically a pipe smoking video, but I'm not going to be smoking a pipe today because, number one, I have a cold. And number two, I just don't feel like it. It's kind of like a mood thing, but I know I haven't posted on my channel for quite a bit. So I thought I'd just kind of do this, show you my little, for lack of a better term, I call this place the zero room. It's a spare room, which, it's kind of one of those rooms where everything goes that you don't have room for. In which case, it's just kind of the spare room. A lot of guests have stayed over here, and I'm sitting on a futon that folds out whenever guests end up staying here. And luckily now we've since done a hardwood floor project. I'll give you a little more of a tour in a second, but and it's a lot neater than it used to be. This little area right here is the last bit of miscellaneous, well, I don't want to call it trash, but stuff that doesn't belong, stuff that's not useful anymore. It has to be gotten rid of, and that's the last remnant of the junkyard that this place used to be. But if I could smoke a pipe, like I do smoke a pipe, very rarely, but if I could smoke a pipe indoors, I would do it here, because this is the perfect place to do it. It's basically, like a media library. You can see all the action figures there. I'm a bit of a Sheldon type of geek. This is my music, the Tolkien section, miscellaneous books, of course a whole bunch of comics here, the horror section. And as you can see, I kind of let the dust go a little bit. I'm just not very, very good at dusting. I guess that's what I'm just going to say. Call it patina to a dusty old library, and we'll call it that. It adds atmosphere. Over there you can see some of the cards I send out, the material, the blank cards, and the stuff I use to make the cards with. And my childhood friends, Jerry and Jeremiah. Haven't been able to get rid of them. But again, a little tour for later on. But anyway, I just want to relate a tale about being a decent person, I guess you could say. I'm a flight attendant for a major airline. It'll go unnamed because I don't want any drama from that. But just got off of a 3-day trip. It was kind of a worker. And I've worked very hard to be a kinder, decent, more patient person in terms of dealing with the public and just in general. And I haven't always been that way. I'm surprised I haven't been fired several times during the course of my career, if you want to know the truth. But that's another story for another time. In a nutshell, me and my crew were coming out of, we'd just gone from Austin, Texas to JFK, and it was a knockdown, drag-out flight, mainly because it was just, we didn't get the right provisioning with our catering and the whole thing, but we pulled it out of our keisters, and we did a good job, and I stayed patient, and I think we acquitted ourselves really well, given the limitations we had. But anyway, we were just coming down from that. We had a couple hours between flights, and we're waiting by our gate. We had to take a shuttle from one part of the airport to another, because if you've ever been to JFK, New York JFK, it's a frickin' zoo. It's organized chaos. Although I can't see what the organization is. It's just pure and utter drama. Well, and imagine it's sort of like the city itself. I mean, I guess if you can't handle drama, don't move to New York City or don't go through it. But so we're kind of waiting, and all of a sudden this woman comes. The plane that we're going to take up to Boston is deplaning. All the passengers are coming off, and this I didn't see before, but I learned later. This guy, I guess he's a ramp guy. He basically put this wheelchair up, just sort of like electric wheelchair. Just popped it there, is put in plastic, just puts it there. Okay, I didn't know. I was busy looking at my phone because that's what we all do, right? So anyway, all of a sudden, towards the end of the flight, this woman comes off the plane, and she is fit to be tied. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm really unhappy," and she was so pissed off. and so stressed out. She did not know where to begin. It was basically sheer frustration at the chaos that JFK can sometimes be. So I stepped away for a second because like I said, to me that behavior kind of like, it pushes me away a little bit. So I just gave myself a little distance to see what my other two colleagues stepped in and asked her what was wrong. They talked her down to earth, and finally when she told the story, we started helping her out. We started arranging her wheelchair and everything like that. I won't go into the whole gigantic details as to what happened. Suffice it to say that she was unhappy that the chair wasn't brought up to the jetway, and she was pissed off that people weren't helping her husband into an aisle chair. If you can't walk down the aisle, you get put into an aisle chair. And then you get transferred to your seat. You need help to do that if you're not ambulatory. And apparently, I guess, as we later found out, he's kind of a heavy guy. And one guy didn't want to help with it because he was afraid he was going to hurt himself. And being a part-timer, he wasn't going to get medical compensation if he hurt himself, which I kind of get. I get that, but it was getting in the way of, how do I put this? Being a decent human being. He wasn't a jerk about it, but he was just what's the word I'm looking for? He was just too hung up on the system, too hung up on the bureaucracy of it. But we get down there and it's pure chaos. No one knows what's going on or who's doing, and there's a million stories going around. So I'm just we get down there and she's just trying to hold it together, and my other two colleagues are helping her out, and I'm just keeping my distance because I don't want to get in the way. So I basically, they finally get the guy out. He's a heavy-set guy, had a Bluetooth and everything like that. Heavy-set guy, and the guy didn't want to help out. The same guy didn't want to help out. He's trying to explain, and the woman doesn't want to hear it because she's not being helped, and I get that. So I'm just kind of hanging out, and the guy is just super pissed off himself. It's like, what the hell? No one wants to help me. No one wants to help me out. I love that. He's a big guy, just brawly New Yorker. And, which I like. I dig that. It's like, see, all of a sudden he points to me. I'm just sitting in the jetway. I was like, hey, how about you? You want to help me? I'm like, absolutely, sir. I'd be happy to help you. And I was. I was happy to be at the right place at the right time to help solve a problem that didn't want to be solved. I'm not trying to say I'm a superhero or anything like that, but there's just a whole bunch of stuff going on. This guy just needed help from one person. He just wanted one person to give a crap. And I guess I turned out to be that person. So I said, absolutely, I'll be happy to help you out. Just tell me what to do and how to do it. Because I'm, really not used to this sort of thing. So, all right, no problem. I just want you to put your arms underneath my arms and then grab my wrists. Okay, that's cool. And someone had his legs, and we pick him up. And, okay, we put him in his, it was really cool electronic chair, actually, something you see out of Star Wars. So pop him in there. Okay, now I'm just moving more to the right. Absolutely, sir. Move him to the right. He gives me a high five, and that was it. And I was just glad that I was able to be a part of a problem-solving event. Because in this world, it just seems to be so much against us, so many little things against us that you're just trying to live a simple life. You're just trying to mind your own business and not be an asshole to people. Pardon my French, folks. Sorry. Not be a jerk, and sometimes the world kind of makes you that way, and I'm no exception, especially dealing with the public. Sometimes I get into that Gollum sort of mood, like, leave me alone, I want to sit here and read, leave me alone, don't ask me for anything, that kind of thing. But it was a nice end to the night that, for a day that was kind of stressful, and I guess what I'm trying to say is I endeavor to look for the common humanity in people when I can. I'm a naturally cynical person. I'm kind of jaded. So it's always that tug of war between be a nice person today and F off, jerk type thing. So it's always that struggle as we go through life. And I could get into the theories as to why we're like that, cultural influences and everything, but that's, again, a video for another day. But decency is rare as hen's teeth, as they call it, and I'm glad when I can finally pull it out of my ass and exhibit some, because I'm not always capable of it, I have to imagine. But it was a I'm just glad I was a small part in helping to get him on his way. And I guess that's the kind of approach I have to, like, when someone comes up to me with a problem and they're all like, because I don't reward bad behavior at all. I don't care what caused your bad mood. If you come at me in a bad mood, I'm not going to reward bad behavior. I'm going to step back and say, just take a breath. How can I help you now, right now? And then you can tell me a story. I'll listen. I'm all ears. I'll listen to every word. But right now, how can I help you with your problem? If I can, if I have the power to do so. But anyway, I'm just got me philosophical, you know. I just did a video to the Padre, Holy Smoking Pipe Padre, on the deck. Very good friend of mine, lovely man, pipe mentor too. I've had the pleasure of meeting him out in Sacramento once when he was he's a member of the I forget the name of the church. But yeah, I had a Sacramento layover, and we met up, and he took me to his favorite pipe store in downtown Sacramento. And the video is on my channel somewhere if you feel like looking for it. But just a very nice guy, and through the YouTube pipe community, I've just met and that and the folks on YouTube as well. I'm sorry, Facebook as well. That in the YouTube pipe community, I've made the acquaintance of many, many wonderful people who I'll probably never meet them in person, but just because you don't know somebody in person doesn't mean you can't start a meaningful friendship up with them. And so yeah, I mean, many, many, many people I'm planting the seeds of really decent relationships there, and I'm very, very happy. And I mean, I'm sure sometimes I feel like a fraud because I'm sure I don't smoke as nearly as much as they do. I know very little about my tobaccos because I'm not been in the practice. You know, people like Beerbeard, Stephen Beerbeard in London, another nice guy. I love his videos quite a bit. He goes, I'm sticking at it. I love that. He's going to be a pipe smoker, and he's toiling after it like some men toil after virtue. That's a pipe quote from somewhere. But his videos are really cool. He's a born and bred Londoner, likes music, he likes his pipes, he likes his beer, and it's always a pleasure just watching his videos. While I'm doing shoutouts, I don't watch a whole ton of people, I have to admit. Grandpa Cavendish I'd like to watch because he's a diehard he's a born and bred New Yorker who lives out in East Hampton now. And every now and again he takes us into New York proper. And you can tell he's a city boy because he just has that air about him. He'll have his pipe in hand. He'll be walking around showing you this while he eats a knish and the whole thing. Grandpa Cavendish is his name. Very nice guy, and he has a channel that I like following as well. But anyway, I just want to give you a little tour before I close this up. But this is, like I said, I call this the Zero Room, which I ripped off from Doctor Who. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. But I'll take you around the room real quick, and you'll see what a complete geeky fanboy I am. And by the way, just a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A little anecdote. Once upon a time, back when we just had hardwood floors put into our house here, and makes the place look a lot better. But before that happened, we had some problems with the dishwasher, and I had all my books, and not unlike this, but a lot bigger. I had all piles of books and piles of CDs and everything over here. All of a sudden, the dishwasher leaks, and there was like a raining cascade down here, and I was pissed. I'm not going to lie, I was super pissed. I mean, really, it's only material stuff, but it's just if you have a passion for music and everything like that, some things some of them are right in there. Some of that stuff is damaged right there, like the Copper Family. That's British folk music from Somerset, Dorset. That got soaked, so I was kind of pissed off. The music still works, but it's the packaging. I like the packaging as well. But yeah, I was amazingly unhappy about that. But let me just give you a little tour. You've kind of seen the side of the room. I would like to smoke in here if I were allowed to. Of course, the windows would be open and the fan would be running, and you can see all the water stains from the dishwasher. But this is sort of like my up on top is my time travel shelf. I'm kind of a time travel fanatic. And over here is sort of like my history shelf. And I love Scotland. I love the Scottish people. I love Scotland in general. And this is sort of like my library devoted to them right here. All these are, like Encyclopedia. Robbie Burns. That's for you, Tam Petrie. But, I've got all kinds of stuff here. And actually belongs over there. Got just stuff that kind of builds up over... Look, Tam, it's your favorite person. But yeah, just all this literature I got over the years about Glasgow and all the... And, of course, I'm a big fan of the Outlander books, too. And a good friend of mine and I used to go to Scotland quite a bit. We finished this once upon a time. He's no longer with us. God rest his soul. So I put that as a bookend. Over here you have my British section, because I like going to the UK quite a bit. This is a recent purchase right there. The Victorians, and see those magazines right over there. Those are in Britain. Some every now and again you get like a monthly. They hold like these monthly magazine subscription things. That was all to do with World War II. Tons and tons of pictures and newspaper reproductions. And even after we stopped flying to Scotland, I still had the dude in the bookstore put them aside for me. And every time I go over to Scotland to visit friends, I just pick up the latest stash. And most of them are still in bags, so I guess I'm a bit of a hoarder that way. But, just all that stuff. Over there in the corners, like my pipe and drinking stuff, I really need to build up my pipe tobacciana, as you call it. This is just biographies and stuff like that. Sociology, time travel, World War II, Western stuff. Gary Dobbs, that's a shout out to you, because you're one of many Brits that I know that are enamored with the American West End. He writes novels about them. He's a published writer and he writes westerns, he writes mysteries too, and God love him for that. But this is the Time Life series of the Old West, and of course books I've picked up, and of course the Ken Burns series. And of course graphic novels and stuff by favorite authors that I really enjoy. The Star Trek section over there, Star Wars section over there, because you're talking to a Generation X Star Wars fan. I was there for the very first viewing. I was there for the very first viewing of it back before there were DVDs, and it was just sort of like many other people. I was just blown away. It changed everything. It's like, wow, those ships look like they need work. Anyway, this is thank you, Martin Flanker Tanker, for sending me this. My Cyberman from Doctor Who. Got that in Scotland, actually. Couldn't find it here. Ripley and the Power Loader. Sort of like my religion section, my religion psychology section here. And yes, I know there's dust. And this is my pipe collection, which I'm kind of like embarrassed to show you because I need a pipe rack. And right now that's all I've got. All the tobaccos are in there. Rubber stamps. My uniform for my job. DVDs. And of course, your typical action figures and stuff like that. Found these recently. Just had to get those. Yeah, so this is just basically where I put all my stuff, the Star Trek section for film. And yeah, it's pretty sad, but I'm a geek, and The Big Bang Theory and such shows like that and all the superhero movies that are coming out right now have made it okay to be a total comic book geek, nerd, what have you. I'm into it, but I'm not into it as much as some people. Some people are really into it. And books over there I haven't read yet that I'll get to. And oh yeah, here's a little story right here. This is Ronnie. He's my Who Cares bear. Remember Care Bears in the 80s? Well, we had to do for mass media class. We had to do a radio play and come up with a product for us. So I came up with Ronnie, as in Ronald Reagan. It's a Who Cares bear. So you'd have suicide bear, anorexia bear, and I decided to go for post-nuclear Holocaust bear. And as you can see, he's gotten better with age. And he's come with me. He's come with me all across the year, so he's staying. Also, one last thing before I go. My mom was kind enough to make me a Doctor Who scarf when I was a kid. 2 of them. And they've come with me as well. The mice haven't eaten them. And of course, got your Doctor Who stuff here. But, all right, I realize this doesn't have a whole lot to do with pipe smoking, so I'll close it up. I know that I'm always very, very fascinated. I love watching videos of pipe smokers, but I like it when it's not just about pipe smoking. You know, pipe smoking's fine. I could stand to use, but I know so little about tobaccos and whatnot. My eyes start glazing over after a while. So someone like Beard who talks about, their love of music and growing up in London and seeing the Beatles, for example,
That I really enjoy, as well as the pipe smoking. Getting a little slice of someone else's life. So, all right, folks, we're going on 20 minutes now, and I've taken up enough of your time. I consider this an opening volley for me doing more pipe videos. That's for you, Ed, who wants to see more videos from me. Hope you all have a good day wherever you are. Keep them smoking, and be decent people if you can. It's not easy, but try. It's always important that we try. Take care, my friends. Cheers.